Today is Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, and these are the books that I picked up from my local store. First one is Big Game from Mark Millar, and the artist is Pepe Larraz. BRZRKR, pen and ink version. I think this is the pen and ink of issue 1 of BRZRKR. Just caught a whiff that this was coming out, I think yesterday, and so I was psyched that I was able to find it on the rack because I love these kind of process books. I got to sift through the dollar bin and found this issue of Comic Scene. I think it came out in 1993, which was quite a while ago. Something that's been on my bookshelf this past week or so is from my local library, and this is what I've been reading, the X-Men Epic Collection, which is Chris Claremont, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, classic lineup. This happens right after Fall of the Mutants, which is one of my favorite storylines of all time in comics. So it's been really great to kind of revisit this and look through this, and I've been super enjoying that. So let's take a closer look at these books. Starting off with Mark Millar, Pepe Larraz, Big Game. Like I said, issue 4 of 5. And Mark Millar is one of the biggest writers out there right now. He's famously known for Civil War for Marvel, but he's also worked on The Kingsman and Jupiter's Legacy. Wanted was one of his big first properties that started off as a comic and turned into a huge movie. He's just a content machine, and it's pretty cool outside of the big two, Marvel and DC, for him to create his own Millarverse or Millerverse, however you want to pronounce his last name. So this series, Big Game, is basically all those characters. Oh, this is from Kick-Ass also. All those characters coming together and merging together in this big storyline, kind of like his Endgame Civil War of his world. And a lot of people die. A lot of characters that he created a long time ago are dying. I kind of have an idea, thinking of what he might be doing. Probably time travel is involved, but he does not hold back any punches, and he's not precious with his characters, even though they're all pretty awesome. This is Nemesis. He just finished a series, Nemesis Reloaded, and that one was pretty awesome. And he works with great artists, as you can see here. Pepe Larraz is really phenomenal. I don't know how they crank out the stuff so fast. His last series that he finished, The Ambassadors, that Mark Millar finished, The Ambassadors, he got all these superstar artists to do each issue. Frank Quitely, Travis Charest, Oliver Copiel. Anyway, he works with the best, and his stuff just really sings. I love it. I love that he's outside of Marvel and DC too. I mean, publishing this with Image, but I believe this is owned or partially owned by Netflix. This one, BRZRKR, pen and ink version from Boom Studios. So I actually never picked up the original book, but I do like Ron Garney's artwork. He's kind of in that category of Lee Weeks a little bit, like can draw anything, really solid, super cinematic. This is awesome. But obviously BRZRKR is partially created by Keanu Reeves, so he looks like Keanu Reeves, but it's just really cool. Boom Studios did a pen and ink, a bigger format one. Let me grab it really quick. Can't even fit on frame here, but of Damon by Brian Stelfreeze, one of my favorites. But you can see they did it more to size of the original artwork, black and white. And then they had this little commentary down here from the artists and the writer too. So I guess they decided to do that for BRZRKR as well, but kept it the same comic book size, which This is a shame, but still cool nonetheless. Really cool. I love seeing black and white comic book art. It's just the best. It really is. I mean, no knock against a great colorist, but there's just something so pure about black and white comic art. Yeah, it's great. Great stuff. Can't wait to dig into that. I wonder if they're going to do this for other stuff, which would be awesome. I'm a sucker for process books, black and white books. I've been going bananas on those artist editions. Not great, but they're awesome. Not great for my wallet, is what I mean. And okay, so here is Comic Scene. This was when Chris Sprouse first splashed onto the scene, I remember. And so he did these Legionnaire designs. And he had such a like, kind of like, they look like kids. Really great stuff. You can see the time period that this came out. This is amazing. I still love that movie. I love these kind of magazines. They're just a snapshot of the time. Like Wizard magazine, all that kind of stuff. Comic Scene. What else did I have? Comic Book Artist. Draw magazine was doing this for a while. Mike Manley's Draw magazine. This looks like old Travis art. Maybe. I know he started on Dark Stars. But his stuff was like clone Jim Lee for a while. And then he started doing Wildcats. And then... oh, maybe it's Larry Stroman? I don't know. I think this is Travis. This looks like Travis. Ah, this is the Bruce Timm Batman the Animated Series stuff. Classic. Doesn't get any better than this for my 2 cents as far as animated series produced in America, action, adventure. This changed my life seeing this stuff. Oh, I think this is Jim Lawson. He did a stint on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I recognize that face. It was like an April O'Neil face. He draws great dinosaurs. And this is the Joe Quesada. Look at that, black and white Joe Quesada. Or Joe Quesadilla, as my friends would say. I loved this stuff, really good. Just had so much energy, but like, at least his earlier stuff looked like it was carved out of stone with all these little like tick lines. It had this like Mignola feel to it. Mignola meets McFarlane a little bit. It's awesome. It's like really craggly, and you can feel the like dimensionality in it. And this is the Chris Sprouse designs. I think Carl Story inked it, maybe. These are great. I saw a bunch of these magazines in the dollar bin today, and I almost bought a few more. But maybe I should go back and get some more. John Romita stuff. The Metal Men. These guys were crazy. Patrick Olaf. All right. Last but not least is the Epic Collection. I won't flip through all of this, but I'll just show you some. Oops, kind of tearing. This first issue here is Jim Lee. I remember that cover. Jim Lee came after Mark Silvestri, and I remember going, man, he's not Mark Silvestri, but then I quickly started loving what he was doing. This is Mark Silvestri and the late great Dan Green, who just recently passed away. Those guys were perfect pairing. Look at this. Look at this Silvestri. It's really good. Drew the best Psylocke. Killer Wolverine, which he ended up being a regular in Wolverine. This is Rick Leonardi, inked by, I think, Kent Williams, which is kind of a crazy combo, but, you know, both great artists. Just jumping ahead here. This is great. This brings me back. These are just great characters. Really, really great characters. They like changed and transformed and grew, and some of them died, and Chris Claremont was the best at that. A lot of depth in his characters. This is where Jim Lee kind of took it to another level with his Psylocke stuff. Look at that. That's awesome. Lady Mandarin. This is great. Jubilee. Jubilee was crazy, but he made her cool. Here comes Silvestri again. Like Silvestri's, that dude can draw like faces. Amazing, amazing. Look at these faces, like really appealing, like almost fashion drawings. This guy was like, look at, I remember this drawing. Like she doesn't have a bridge of her nose, but it's all structurally there. Oh. Kieron Dwyer, I remember this. I remember going like, this aren't the dudes. This isn't Jim Lee. This isn't Mark Silvestri. Anyway, this is a great book. I might have to pick up a copy for myself. I'm such an art snob too. Like when my favorite artist wouldn't draw it, I'd be like, meh. Oh, Bill Jaska. I remember. Because at a certain point, I think Mark Silvestri was doing 2 books a month, which was crazy. And then they got all these guest artists. I think he burnt out a little bit. This is Jim Lee. Oh no, this is Wills. Right? Yeah, I think this is Wills. Wills Portacio. He was awesome, fellow Filipino. Wills just brought a different energy, but at the same time very similar to Silvestri and Jim Lee. But it was just cool to see his take on stuff. He's great. Yeah, Wills consistently drew the best hair too. This is Jim Lee. Anyway, pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I definitely have rekindled my love for comics. I grew up with them, and I'm just having a lot of fun going to the store every week and picking up new books and reading them just like I did when I was a kid. And the market is so different now these days. So it's been fun to kind of discover that and remember what I used to like. Some things I still like, some things I don't, and then find new things too. So hopefully it's entertaining enough. Hopefully it'll get better as I keep doing this. But I'm trying to maybe regularly do a Wednesday post of just the books that I see and the books that I get, and also talk about books that I'm reading on the side, whether that's in my own collection or things that I discover at the library, or whatever comes to mind. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you next time.